Hi everyone, I'm Lee Smith, co-founder at the EX Space, and I'm joined by Emma Bridger, my co-founder, and we're going to hear from in a moment. Um, the business case for EX is watertight, as we've heard, but this is tough stuff, right? We're in the realms of human nature here, and brains and how brains work. And Emma, I know you're a trained psychologist by background. Tell us a little bit about the psychology of EX. What's going on here that we need to be aware of?
Yeah, I mean, I get really excited about this stuff, Lee, as you know, because it's interesting that the business case is really robust. Okay, so few people ask why. So few people say, well, why is it that we see employees being more innovative or outperforming others when they have a great experience and they're highly engaged? Why is it we see businesses just performing better on pretty much every business outcome when we have a great experience and we have higher engagement? And the answer lies in neuroscience and psychology. And we talk a lot about this because I think it's really important to understand that this isn't a soft and fluffy thing. This is actually grounded in some really compelling science, right? So I'll try and keep it brief. What happens when we have a great experience, right? When someone says, thank you for a job well done, or perhaps we finally deliver a project we've been struggling with, or we're just having a bit of a laugh with our colleagues, right? What happens is we have a positive experience. It feels good. We all know how that feels. And there's a kind of a flood in our brains of different kind of neurotransmitters and neurochemicals. So that's associated with kind of a change in what's going on in our brains. And when that happens, when we have a positive experience, we're experiencing those emotions, quite simply, those different neurotransmitters, so things like dopamine, they switch on the learning centers in our brain. So when we're in that state, basically, all our wonderful higher order cognitive functioning that we need in business to do great things, it's all switched on, it's all primed, it's ready for action. So we're more able to solve problems, we're more able to connect with people, to understand people, we're more able to access memories. We're more able just to be better at pretty much everything we do, right? And if you think of the opposite, so when the opposite's happening, when we're feeling like we're in a toxic workplace, we're scared of our boss, we're worried about failing, when that happens, our brains go into fight or flight mode. They kind of go into tunnel vision, and our brains don't differentiate the threat. So our brains just feel there's a threat. They don't know whether it's, thousands of years ago would have been like a mountain lion about to kind of, come for us, or a nasty boss is just making our life pretty miserable. Our brains don't know the difference. So they kind of go into tunnel vision and they say, right, we just need to get through this. We just need to survive. So they say, right, we're going to direct all our resources to getting through this horrible situation, surviving. So let's switch off all that lovely higher order cognitive functioning that we talked about. So don't worry about kind of, innovating. Don't worry about solving problems. Don't worry about connecting with people. Just forget all of that. Let's just get out of here, right? So you can see in organizations where, people aren't having a great time and they're not highly engaged, they're not going to be very good at what they do, because all that lovely stuff we need and want in organizations to compete and to differentiate, all switched off. In organizations where we're having a great experience, guess what? All that stuff switched on. We're primed. It's all happening. It's all those kind of neurons are firing, and we're just better at everything we do. And this is the kind of quite simple, really, reason why we see that business case. So when you're having great experiences within your organization, businesses are good at this. We see higher performance and all those wonderful business outcomes we talked about, and it's that simple.
Fantastic. Do you think there's a kind of societal benefit of this too, Em? I mean, I know, I've worked for some nightmare bosses over the years. I know you've had some bad experiences too. Most of us have in the world of work over the years. And you take that back home with you, don't you? And actually, it doesn't stop when you leave the office or switch off Zoom at 5 p.m. or whenever it is. It's something that affects your life beyond work. So do you think actually if we can get, we begin to, as we say, embrace the EX era, is that going to have an effect on lives outside of work, on society? Is that
Yeah,
too big?
absolutely. I think it's really naive to think that, when we walk into work, we leave our personal lives at the door, and when we leave work, we leave our work life, in the office. It doesn't work like that. The two blur. We're much more mindful of that now, I think. And, there's no doubt, when your friends, your family, your partner, whoever, the people in your life, when they're having a good time at work, they're happier. It has an impact, right? You know that when friends, family, people you interact with regularly are having a miserable time at work, it seeps out. They're feeling down. It's not something you can just leave in the office or a place of work, wherever you happen to work. Of course, you think about it, you mull it over. So absolutely, the two are blurred, and I absolutely believe that getting the experience right with our people will have a positive impact on society at large.